Is it possible for retail to become more generic and boring? I think it is. Welcome back, friends. Welcome back. Happy Monday. Cat hair. Thanks for coming back. If it's your first time here, welcome. The nicest comment section in all of the YouTubes. Stay a while. Subscribe, wouldn't you? Why don't you? Will you? Hit that thumbs up button. Takes but a second. We all need to pay the ferryman that is the YouTube algorithm. It helps out a lot, honestly, and I appreciate it. So first, I have to tidy up a little bit from the video last week. You haven't watched the video from last week? It's right here. I said, when I answered the question about the shop shirt, the Surly shop shirt, I said that it was a 4-inch patch, and because I was a speech major and I'm not very good at the maths, it was not a 4-inch patch. It was a 6.5-inch patch. Sadly, it looks like that patch has now been discontinued. It may come back at some point. Who knows? There are some 4-inch patches available in the web store. They're appropriate for hats and or bags. And then they do a patch called the Executive Director patch that's a little smaller, but it's probably the next closest thing that would look good on a shirt. I'll put the link down in the description for all the patches and such if you're interested. So, I had been thinking it's not uncommon for folks like us that ride the bikes we do, and for channels like mine who talk about the things that we talk about, to sort of look down our noses a bit at racers. And, you know, it's pretty low-hanging fruit. I mean, what with the Lycra and the Smart Trainers and the Pain Caves, it's kind of easy to make fun of them. I don't think that I've done that. Good Lord, I'm shedding. Remember when I said about pulling the curtain back? The curtain is fully open at this point. I hope I've not done that. I don't think I have. My ire was always directed more at the industry and the importance that said industry placed on racing as a category. And then I got to thinking about it, and it's like, well, you know, they're making these bikes because people are still buying them, obviously. If they weren't buying them, you know, they wouldn't make them. So I decided to just kind of, even if it was only internally, you know, take it down a notch and just kind of, especially now that we have so many bikes that kind of fit into this sensible yet adventurous category. But then I read a story that concerned me. Concern may be an overstatement, but it gave me pause for certain. You know, when I owned my big bike shop and was a Trek dealer, they started opening Trek stores. So if I had the means and wanted to, I could partner with Trek and open this big shiny store that primarily sold Trek and Trek products. And they said from the jump that they were not interested, they being Trek, were not interested in owning stores. And I haven't stayed I don't have my finger on the pulse of what's going on in the bike business. I just kind of pay attention to what's going on in my little corner of the world. But I did read a story a couple of days ago that apparently Trek is now buying up stores. So again, if I had one of these Trek stores and was looking to get out of the business and, all the math was correct, Trek would potentially buy that store and then it would become a corporately owned store. I've also found out that Specialized is doing the same thing. They put the word out far and wide to their dealers that they're interested in buying stores. Now, we did this once in the 60s and 70s, the Schwinn store. And they all look the same, and 80% of your product is expected to be Schwinn. Now, this is going to be even, a notch up because Trek is going to, or Specialized is going to actually own the store. They're going to control the supply chain from beginning to end. And because I can hold two truths in my head at the same time, I think, well, that could potentially be good for people like me. For people that want to kind of go out on their own and do their own thing, because there are going to be fewer and fewer shops like that around. I mean, because if Trek's buying stores and Specialized buying stores, the next thing that's going to happen is either Giant is going to buy stores or they're going to swoop in to all the other stores that now don't have Trek or Specialized. Did I say Schwinn? I said Schwinn. That don't have Trek or Specialized, and then those are going to become de facto Giant stores. So if what you want to do is offer something different, I mean, the contrast is probably going to be pretty stark. The downside of it is that all these stores are going to be boring. They're all going to look the same. Yes, they're going to be clean and they're going to be bright, but my God. Parky asked a question, and I think it's Parky 16, something to that effect. And Parky, if you're out there, I'm talking about you. He asked a bunch of questions last week, and it would have taken, the video as it was 20 minutes long, and it would have been 40 minutes long if I really delved into all the questions that he asked. But he said something about carbon bikes, and I said, well, I don't really have anything against carbon bikes. It's just, they're just sterile. They all kind of look the same. There's not as many ways to really take a carbon bike and make it your own. And that's what all these stores are going to be like. He also talked about, going into different bike shops. And while I have not done that for easily 2 decades, when I was younger, I certainly did. And each store had kind of a personality. It had the personality of the owner and the people that work there, and, everyone was a little different, and that is going away. Day by day, year by year, fewer of those stores exist. And I don't necessarily think it's a good thing. Businesses, like people, should have personalities. And when they're all the same, we all become kind of drones. So that's just what I've been thinking about. What do you think? I'm sure I can predict what the answers are going to be, but still, put them down in the comments. I always read them. Thanks again for watching. If you've got the notification bell rung and you're watching this on Monday, let's make the most of the day. Shall we? Till next time, be nice, work hard, ride bikes, play music when you can. I'll talk to you soon.